Beneath the veils of forgotten history and scattered myth, there exists a profound story of a woman named Scota, a name echoing through Gaelic lore, pharaonic records, and the very soil of Ireland and Scotland. She is no mere figure of legend. Her journey represents a convergence of Egyptian mysticism, royal bloodlines, sacred language, and the founding of esoteric traditions that shape the Western world. This integrated account blends legend, archaeology, etymology, ancient rites, and oral traditions to trace the legacy of Scota, the Egyptian princess whose lineage helped shape Gaelic culture and spiritual foundations that endure to this day. Scota, or Scotia, is said to have been the daughter of an Egyptian pharaoh, often identified as Pharaoh Nectanebo II, though some traditions trace her lineage to Akhenaten or even Thutmose III, the initiate pharaoh of the mystery schools. Her name, derived from Skt or Seket, meaning sacred field or she who carries, identifies her as both royalty and a bearer of spiritual legacy. In the Lebor Gabála Érenn, the Book of the Taking of Ireland, she is described as the wife of Niall, a nobleman or scholar possibly linked to the biblical Hebrews. Their son, Goidel Glass, is credited with synthesizing sacred languages, including Hebrew, Egyptian, and Proto-Celtic, into the Gaelic tongue. Goidel Glass is said to have merged sacred sound traditions into the Gaelic language. The flame-like script of Ogham, often carved on wood or stone, may derive from Egyptian hieratic and encode cosmological data, each stroke linked to trees, breath, and celestial resonance. Ogham was a druidic flame language, an inscribed memory system passed down through her bloodline. Like ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs and Hebrew script, Ogham was not merely phonetic, but multidimensional, intertwining sound, symbol, number, and metaphysical concept into each character. These sacred languages share a worldview in which language is not arbitrary, but a divine architecture, and every word or glyph carries layered meanings, elemental associations, and spiritual force. In this regard, Ogham participates in a profound lineage of wisdom traditions that encoded truth into form with intentionality and resonance. Although it is said that Scota was exiled from Egypt, I believe it was no accident that Scota's father sent her to the northwestern lands. This was no ordinary exile. Her journey was deliberate, not exilic. Whether fleeing Persian invasion, avoiding upcoming prophesied plagues, or fulfilling a spiritual mission, it is clear her father knew of the land across the western seas. It seems Scota and her kin set sail to preserve sacred knowledge. In several versions of the Irish mythological cycle, notably in the Lebor Gabála Érenn, there are implications that Scota's Egyptian family, especially her father or ancestors, may have had ancestral memory or knowledge of the northwestern lands, and that the journey was not an exile, but a return to a remembered or prophesied homeland. This suggests not only advanced maritime navigation, but also Atlantean or pre-Diluvian memory and/or secret Egyptian knowledge of the northwestern land of green, possibly referenced in Plato's Timaeus. Archaeological traces support elements of her tale. At the Mound of the Hostages near Tara, faience beads and Egyptian ceramic were found alongside a skeleton dated to 1350 BC, matching those found in Tutankhamun's tomb. Egyptian-style motifs like spirals and solar discs appear across British megaliths. The Book of Kells shows angels holding flabella, fans, a motif associated with Eastern Mediterranean rites. Some Irish high crosses depict Egyptian desert fathers like Saints Anthony and Paul. The Stowe Missal contains prayers referencing desert dangers, all hinting at Egypto-Irish spiritual continuity. Adding further intrigue to these symbolic and material links, a controversial but widely publicized genetic study from the early 2010s reported that DNA taken from a sample believed to be linked to Tutankhamun bore markers most commonly found in Western European and particularly Celtic populations. Though later debated and partially redacted by official sources, most likely due to outside pressure, The findings sparked intense interest in the possibility of ancient Egyptian and Proto-Celtic genetic overlaps. These claims resonate powerfully within the mythos of Scota, suggesting that the bloodline she carried westward may not only have seeded spiritual and cultural traditions, but also left a traceable biological imprint. In this context, the symbolic kinship between Gaelic and Egyptian traditions is obviously more than myth. Scota is said to have died in battle against the Tuatha De Danann, a mystical pre-Celtic race, and was buried in Glen Scoitheann in County Kerry. Another region, Glen Scota in Argyll, bears her name. Her grave, marked by stone, signifies both literal history and mythic sacrifice. The conflict between her Milesian lineage and the Tuatha is symbolic of a rite of succession. The battle was a test, an initiatory transfer of sovereignty. Upon their defeat, the Tuatha retreated to the other world, becoming the Sidhe, guardians of inner realms. Scota's blood sanctified Irish soil and spiritually united Egyptian solar rites with Celtic elemental guardianship. Central to her legacy is the Stone of Destiny, or Leafal. There are two such stones. The upright, phallic Leafal at Tara is said to roar for the rightful king, connected to the Tuatha and ancient fertility rites. The second, square-shaped and known as Jacob's Pillow Stone, now rests beneath the coronation chair in Westminster Abbey. Legend links it to the biblical Jacob and asserts it was brought west by Scota's people. It was used in Scottish coronations at Scone before being seized by Edward I. Whether these are the same stone or spiritually linked, they symbolize sovereignty, sacred kingship, and Scota's dynastic authority. The cultural symbols carried west with Scota included the kilt and sporran, garments visually and functionally similar to the Egyptian shindit and priestly sash. Scottish tartans, with their woven clan codes, echo the patterned linen identifiers of Egyptian priesthoods. Tartans are more than fashion, they are geomantic frequencies that map lineage, land, and cosmic alignment. The Scottish Scoti, Scota's descendants, established kingdoms like Dalriada and embedded Egyptian theology into Celtic stone circles and bardic traditions. Their oral lore evolved into druidic systems and would re-emerge in Freemasonry, which reveres Egypt's symbols, Boaz and Jachin, the Eye of Horus, the unfinished pyramid. These may be remnants of Scota's teachings, preserved in allegory. Scota's name lives on not only in Scotland, but in every tradition where sovereignty, solar wisdom, and ancestral memory are preserved. She is the vessel of sacred knowledge, the Sophia of the West, bridging the Nile and North, Atlantis and Avalon. Her myth is memory. Her legacy is encoded in stone, language, and blood. As humanity rediscovers its forgotten past, Scota rises not as myth, but as archetype, guide, and matriarch. She is the flame bearer, the mother of nations, the queen whose death gave life to a civilization, the bridge between the ancient and the eternal. And now, so do we remember her.